So with all of that being said, I said that to say, for the past couple of weeks, I have really been contemplating on if I am going to be partaking in the Christmas festivities with my family who still celebrate, Christmas. I just been contemplating back and forth. And my family, they go all out for Christmas. I mean, they buy gifts galore, and the Christmas tree every year, and I mean, it's so many gifts, and you know and I hate to sound like the Grinch or the Scrooge, but I and it's and the reason why I say I've been contemplating is because I have a very supportive family, and they have really been there for me over the years, and I'm very grateful for them. And it's nothing personal towards them. It's just um I have to follow my own convictions, what God convicts me of. And I've sacrificed for the past 5 years and participated in Christmas, and still celebrating and buying gifts and exchanging gifts and receiving gifts, even after I got saved. I've been saved for 5 years, and you know and I eventually found out after I got saved that Christmas was pagan and idolatry and a lot of falsehood and all this stuff. And but I still participated, in the holidays and the traditions, that my family and I have been accustomed to over the years. I still participated. um 2020, I did put up a tree. 2021, I think I did put up a tree, but I believe 2022 was the last year that I put up a tree and did any decorations. Last year I did participate only on the account of my family, because I didn't want them to feel some type of way and think I was acting funny. I didn't want them to think that I was, taking this religion thing too far to the extreme or whatever, because that, I don't think they really understand. I don't think they really get it. In fact, I never had an in-depth conversation about my personal convictions about these types of things. So I never just had a talk with them about it. But I have told my sister that it's, these holidays are pagan and I don't want to partake in them. She doesn't take me serious, and I think that she think that I'm weird and that I'm doing too much, and she don't think that I'm not going to continue to celebrate these things. But I think she about to find out this year, because actually last Christmas, I participated. I bought a bunch of gifts. I exchanged gifts. I received gifts. I let my kids receive gifts and all of those things. And so, I mentioned to her and my family that, well, I mentioned to my sister and one of my aunts who often host Christmas at her house. I mean, my family, they really do it big for Christmas. They go all out, and they don't buy no little cheap gifts. They buy expensive gifts and a lot of gifts, good gifts, gifts galore. I mean, you should see whoever house we celebrate at that year. I mean, it be so many gifts you can't even walk through. I mean, it's a lot. Like, they do it big. But what I was gonna say was, I mentioned to my sister and one of my aunts, one of my great aunts last year, I said, I'm sorry, but I will not be participating in Christmas next year. And I think my aunt got kind of offended, and she didn't say anything. And, her not saying anything said everything. And it was just really hard for me to say. And she probably was like, well, the audacity, because she has been so good to me over the years and so good to my children. And I love my family. I do. I really do. But I have to follow my personal convictions. And, every year I have made the sacrifice for the past 5 years that I'm not going to celebrate Christmas. And every year I say I'm not going to do it. And I still partake in it, and I still do it. And one reason why is because I feel so guilty, because my family has been so supportive of me and my children over the years. And they've been there for us, and been so good to us, and been so supportive to me and my children, because I've been a single mother. And so it's been hard. It's been really hard for me to just say, I'm sorry, I don't want to participate. But I feel like if I don't stick to my guns this year, then I'm never gonna do it. And I think that they won't ever take me serious on my personal conviction if I still partake in it. And so, it's been very hard for me because I've been contemplating, for the past couple of weeks. Am I really going to partake this year? This year. And at first I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I really just been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just wavering for the past 2 weeks. And I'm like, one part of me, I'm like, I don't want to offend them. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want them to think I'm acting funny with them. I don't want them to think that I don't appreciate them for everything that they've done for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's really been hard. And then on the other hand, I'm like, well, this is displeasing to the Most High, and I'm supposed to follow in His ways and not the ways of the world, and I'm not supposed to partake in the traditions of men. And I just keep celebrating every year, and I say I'm not, but and it's been draining. It's been hard, to say the least. I've been going back and forth just contemplating, and I still haven't officially made up in my mind what I'm going to do. But I have not bought any gifts. In fact, my coworker, she keep asking me, have I gone shopping? And I'm like, no. I keep telling her no. And another thing, Christmas is so much hypocrisy in it, because if you just really think about it, if you really just think about it, as me and my family have celebrated Christmas over the years, people say that, oh, Jesus is the reason for the season. They love to say that, and it's all about the celebration of the Messiah and His birthday and all of this stuff. But it's like, it's really hypocrisy, because if you really think about it, how many people actually gather on Christmas Day with their family and actually study the scriptures and actually talk about Jesus, and and actually dwell on the scriptures and pull out their Bible and exchange gifts in the commemoration of Him and all of this stuff? Like, nobody does that. Like, my family, we didn't. I've never known anybody to implement anything about the Messiah or talk about Him or anything for the celebration that they say they celebrating in commemoration of His birthday. And so to me, it's just so much hypocrisy, because if it's like, okay, you say Jesus is the reason for the season, but why are you getting a gift? If it's all about your Jesus, then why are you getting a gift? Why are you giving gifts to other people and it's not their birthday? Or it's like, it's just so much hypocrisy. Because to me, you say Jesus is the reason for the season, then why are we getting gifts? And so, I know why they do it, you know what I'm saying? Because, of course, we know where we got that from, the 3 wise men who, they brought gifts to Mary and Joseph, because the king was born, a king who was going to save humanity. So I know why they say that they do it, but come on, man. I mean, it's just so much hypocrisy and idolatry, and I just really don't want no parts of it. I really don't. I hate to sound like, the Scrooge or whatever, but it's just hypocrisy, and it just don't have nothing to do with the Most High. So I would encourage you, if you haven't done your research, I would encourage you to do your own research and not just take my word for it, but I try to keep an open mind and everything, but I just have to follow my personal convictions, and my family's just gonna have to understand it. But I will be coming back on here to let you all know, what I decided to do. If I decided to partake this year. Now, I do have 3 children. My oldest son is 19, so he don't really care about Christmas, and of course he don't believe in Santa Claus and all that stuff. My younger son, he's 16. He old enough, and they probably don't really understand as far as my personal convictions, I'm sure, but it's just a personal choice. But and then I have a daughter who's 5. Now, she doesn't understand, and you may question and wonder, well, I wonder if she gonna let her children receive gifts. Of course, you know, if somebody, and I know my family, I know my family. I've been knowing them all my life, and they always buy me tons of gifts every year, and I'm grateful for them. I'm very appreciative. I really am. But this year was the first year that I decided I am not going to buy any gifts. I have not bought any gifts. In fact, I don't even have the money to buy any gifts, and I'm not gonna do it. I don't believe I am. It's a little late in the game to be trying to buy some gifts now at the last minute anyway. But I just have so much to do with my finances that I don't even have the money or the means to get no gifts this year anyway. And that's a subject I'm gonna save probably for tomorrow and come back and do another video about that. But I will let you know, what I decide to do, because today is December 22nd. So anyway, I gotta cut this video because I'm about to get ready to go to work. But you know, let me know what you think. Positive comments only. You know, if you don't have anything nice to say, keep strolling.